What's up everybody, KingGBL here, and welcome back to a brand new season of Go Battle League. In today's video, we're going to be testing out 3 brand new Pokemon, which have been buffed this season. Ludicolo in the lead here, which has got access to Weather Ball and Astonish this season. Doublade, which got access to Shadow Claw and Sacred Sword. And Aegislash with buffed Shadow Ball. The reason that buffed Shadow Ball is good on Aegislash is because you can now bank 2 Shadow Balls with this Pokemon, whereas that was not an option for that before. The reason that is quite significant is because Shadow Ball does quite a lot more damage, and whenever you transform with this Pokemon, the attack stat and defense stat gets swapped around. So basically you're in a really vulnerable position if you have to use Psycho Cut to get to the next move. You will in the process take a lot of damage, so it is kind of nice that this Pokemon's got 2 50 energy moves, which are quite powerful. We'll have a look at this team, we'll have a look at these Pokemon, we'll see if they're meta. But in any case guys, big welcome in, God bless you all, please drop a like in the video, and subscribe if you're brand new. And by all means feel free to let me know what you think about this season in the comment section down below. I want to showcase these Pokemon, but I also do want to have a chat about this season, how it's going to work with the Interlude season, and give you my thoughts and opinions on that. In any case guys, hopping into this first battle, I'm making an absolute meal out of this game here. Basically I thought I could pretty much farm this all the way down. Unfortunately though, charging is a 2-turn move, not a 1-turn move. If it was like Registeel with Lock On, I probably could have farmed it all the way down. So it's all up to Ludicolo at this point. Unfortunately the opponent does reach the Body Slam. However, Ludicolo is really thick, we live that on 1 HP, get off the Leaf Storm, which will absolutely one-shot the Gastrodon, and thankfully the Talonflame is on 1 HP. My thinking there was, okay, I'll farm down the Talonflame with Aegislash. Unfortunately, they ended up having Flame Charge, so that made that very awkward. Anyway guys, hopping into the second battle, Annihilate, definitely a very good lead for me. However, my Doublade does quite decently into this as well. I decided to swap out. Of course this will be super effective, but the counters are still single resisted. I'm going to commit to the farm down here. I'll shield once, farm all the way down. And what I'm thinking here is, with with Annihilate bleeds, you can sometimes have Bastiodons and things like that in the back. I do end up building up to the Jarrow Ball. Now bear in mind these are early rank battles, so people will shield stuff they shouldn't really shield. We do get off, unfortunately, only 1 move. The opponent's on Mudshot here. I ended up finding like 3 or 4 Mudshot Clodsires today for some reason, but in any case we come in with Ludicolo. Mudshot is a lot better for Ludicolo here, of course not being super effective. Go for Weather Ball. The opponent is shielding everything. Like I said, in these early ranks, people will shield a lot of moves that they don't really necessarily have to shield. We just about don't reach the move, but because the opponent's on Stone Edge here, I think we should survive this and get off the move no problem. I go for 1 and throw to make sure the opponent doesn't swap out, and we'll see what Aegislash can do. It's these types of situations that you love Aegislash, because as you can see, the opponent comes in with Altaria. Now the opponent ends up going for Sky Attack, but even if they were to go for Flamethrower, that would not be doing enough damage here. We could easily tank 2 Flamethrowers in the shield form. That's the significance of being able to bank 2 moves, right? Because we basically throw the first move, and what happens is whenever you switch into the sword form, your attack and defense swaps, right? So that means that you basically win CMP against almost anything. If you have a high rank Aegislash, the attack stats around like 230, which will beat basically every Pokemon at CMP. Anyway guys, hopping on into the discussion here, I want to have a chat about the Interlude season here. So as you guys might be aware, we're getting Pikachu Libre and all of the Legend gear. Between ranks, I don't know, 17 to 20, just get to rank 20 guys and you get a Pikachu Libre, long story short. What that basically means is, and we actually seen, I'll see if I can get the clip for it here, but if you check my Twitter, you'll see that I reposted it. The Japanese Niantic help account, they said that there will be some more info on the main channels quite soon about the ranks being removed this season. So essentially guys, as far as I can understand it, we get up to rank 20, and we will get an ELO, a visible ELO, but we won't be able to have Ace, Veteran, Expert, and Legend this season. As far as my understanding is, we still have ELO, we still have leaderboards, but we don't have ranks. So if you hit like, I feel bad for people who hit 3000 ELO for the first time this season because you won't actually hit Legend. I guess like you could count it as that, but you know, technically it's not Legend. By the way, in this battle here, I just swap into Aegislash. I should have swapped back into Ludicolo here, but I'm trying to get some footage for this Pokemon, so I just automatically swapped into it. I think we probably take like 4 Surfs anyway and get off 2 moves and it'll probably knock out, so that would have been just fine there. But guys, I'm a little bit concerned about this season because here's my personal opinion and take on it as a content creator. I've noticed over the last, I've been producing content on this game for about almost 3 years, I think. Coming up into January here, it'll be about 3 years. What I've noticed over the last 2 years especially is that the viewership for this game across the board, not just my channel, but talking about even the bigger Pokemon Go channels on YouTube and on Twitch, the viewership, maybe Twitch has been fine, but definitely on YouTube the viewership has been down pretty considerably and pretty steadily over the last couple of years. My concern is, I think one of the main reasons that a lot of people play this game is to grind out ELO, grind out leaderboards, which like I said you still can do, but not being able to hit like legend rank and have, you know, stuff that you can push for, basically a reason to continue playing other than leaderboards, I do find that quite concerning. And I just hope that whatever update Niantic's got planned, it's a little bit bigger than a band-aid fix. I think with this game being out for, how many years has this been? What, 5 years? I think people were saying this game was out around COVID times, right? I think with a game like this that's been out for so long, and Pokemon Go still does have a lot of players, I think we're in a position now where we need a complete overhaul of this game. GBL needs to be completely, like, almost rebranded, not necessarily call it something else. You could actually just rebrand it and call it something else, because I feel like GBL, it's got a pretty bad reputation. Guys, we're going to do a fun fact here for this video. Look at this Ninetales coming in. This Gyro Ball is double super effective. Like I said, we have a 230 attack stat on this blade form. Guys, in the comments down below, I checked it on PvPoke earlier. Comment how much damage you think that does. It's a ridiculous amount of damage. I'll give you a hint, it's less than 200 damage, so don't be saying like 400 or something, it's not that high. But by all means, comment down below, let me know what you think it is, and I'll let you know a little bit later in the video. So, yeah, that's my concern, guys. I think just removing ranks, it's going to basically lower the amount of people who are playing the game, and, you know, unless they do the big overhaul that I talked about, or they, like, substantially change the game, I'm talking about maybe even redoing animations, I'm talking about changing the battle system in certain ways, giving new cops. I talked about like a 2000 CP league, introducing new ideas, like a Show 6 version of the game. Like if there was a casual mode or a ranked mode, one was Show 6 and the other one was just GBL, right? I feel like that could be a huge difference. Or like, here's a good example. How about we do normal battles until we reach Ace rank, or until we reach rank 20, and then after rank 20 we do Show 6 mode. I really think it's getting to the point where Go Battle League has to make a massive transformation in order to really get new players on board, because of course we know that the game's very broken at the minute and the current player base is pretty unhappy with the game right now. So of course they have to fix the bugs, like just completely overhaul everything and try to fix the game properly and even remake it from the ground up if need be. But also I think they need to add a lot more features like in-game leaderboards, tutorials. I think rental Pokemon would be a good idea for new players, right? Because IVs are quite a big deal in this game. If you were able to rent, for example, a Sableye, rent a Greninja as you can see on screen, or rent a Pokemon using, I don't know, Stardust or whatever, I feel like that'd be a really good idea. We need to do something to get new players on the game. I think this season is kind of interesting in that Pikachu Libre will be available at rank 20. That might get some more people to play because a lot of people don't have Pikachu Libre. So I think that could be beneficial, but I think just as a whole, they need to do something quite meaningful in this interlude season, because the way I sort of look at it is, a lot of people are going to stop playing this season, and one thing that I think doesn't get thought about enough, or talked about enough even, is that there's a massive amount of people who use alt accounts. Like, I know people who use 2, 3, 4 alt accounts, like I'm not even joking. A couple of my friends at least have 2 alt accounts that they play on. One of my friends calls it an alt account and a tertiary account. You know, so like literally playing on free accounts, right? So if you can imagine what impact that has on matchmaking, that's more people who are potentially playing. Like, each of those accounts basically represents a player who's queuing in to Go Battle League. And if you think about how queues have been, if you have been playing Go Battle League for the last couple of seasons, even at like not so high elos, queue times start to get pretty bad. And you know, if you're getting your Pikachu Libre at rank 20, people are probably not going to play their alt accounts like super high as they used to, or the grind won't really be as attractive because we don't have elo to get, or ranks to get, sorry. So I'm a little bit concerned that a lot of people will probably take this season off because there's less to play for after rank 20. There'll be a lot less interest in the game, and in 3 months from now, if people come back to the game and it's just a complete mess still, if it's a complete mess, like, they're gonna say, like, what was this even for? Like, it took a huge part of the game away for 3 months, only to not fix it and not improve the features, improve the user interface, improve all of these things that we know that GBL's lacking as a game in 2025. With the games industry, you know, you guys might not know this, but I've been making content on YouTube for about 10 years. I've played a lot of different games, including like Battle Royale games, and I was there for that whole phase. When it comes to video games, people move on quickly. The game that I was most well known for on my other channel, which has got like 45k subs, so feel free to check it out, it's called KingGBL. I'll put that link in the description if you want. I had 45k subs on another channel, and I was really well known for H1Z1, which was a Battle Royale game. And like, a really similar thing happened with that game where the company who was running it didn't do the proper updates. They had so many opportunities to try to retain and gain new players, but they never really took the opportunities, and eventually the game kind of dwindled out and died. With Pokemon Go, it's a little bit different because there are basically like two sections of the game. The overall game that people play just casually when they're catching Pokemon, raiding, etc. And then the PvP system. I can just imagine that a lot of people will just kind of put PvP down and just kind of focus on their normal just account playing, just catching and stuff like that, right? So that's my main concern. I really hope that Niantic takes it seriously, and I really hope that they make a huge difference in this game in this upcoming season, because the way I see it is, it's a very risky strategy to do this interlude season and then not do a massive update afterwards. So fingers crossed, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think would be a reasonable update. And to answer your question from earlier, it's 195%, so it does 195% damage to a Ninetales, a Jaraball from an Aegislash. So I guess hopping into the battles here and a little bit more Pokemon focused stuff here, my opinions on these three Pokemon. So Ludicolo, I think it's actually legitimate. Astonish is a very good move, and as you've seen earlier in that match, like, its bulk is really impressive. Being able to tank that Body Slam from Gastro in the deep yellow health was really impressive, and then of course Astonish is just a really good move. Water Ball's a really good move, Leaf Storm is a nuke, so I think that's very, very viable. I think Doublade is quite good. However, one thing that disappoints me about it is Jaraball. I think if it had Shadow Ball, Secret Sword, this Pokemon would be really good. I think it actually needs Shadow Ball to be a little bit better. I guess Jaraball is good, it's a good anti-fairy, like a good anti-Wiggly, but I just think that Shadow Ball would just do so much better. I'm assuming Wiggly probably lives one Jaraball anyway, so maybe like double Secret Sword would be the way to go anyway. Or I'm not sure if even two Secret Swords would knock out, maybe one Secret Sword, one Jaraball. In any case, I think Shadow Ball would be better for this Pokemon in general, in neutral matchups. Aegislash, again, it's very improved, but I just think it takes long to get to the moves. It's a 2-turn move. Farming stuff down, as you seen earlier against the Talonflame, despite its low health, was very, very painful. It quite literally does 0.5 damage per turn, so I think if they were to make that Pokemon better, which I wouldn't be totally against, it's very easy to make that Pokemon overpowered, however. But like, you could do, I don't know, you can make it a 1-turn move, 1 damage 1 turn, or you could just increase the damage by 1 on the 2-turn move, which might be a little bit more reasonable. If it's a 1-turn move, it probably could be quite overpowered, but I generally do think Edgy could probably get a buff, because it doesn't really one-shot anything, and it's very, very hard to get set up properly, so that's my opinion on it. It's definitely improved, but not really insane. It could be quite good in like Battle Frontier, or in some limited metas, so it probably is worth getting at some point. And knowing Niantic, or Scopely I should say, I've been calling them Niantic, I really don't even know who does updates in this game, because you can quite easily say Niantic, it's the exact same team who were managing the game before, except for they're under the umbrella of Scopely, so you can call them whatever you want, I guess. But yeah, what I was going to say is you don't really know what they're going to do. Like, they could just easily buff it and make it OP for a season. That's definitely happened before. In this game, quite hilariously, we're trying to triple resisted farm this thing down with Shadow Claws and stuff. In comes Wiggly. This is just an absolute nightmare for Wigglytuff. That is where Aegislash is really good. In a positive typing matchup, this thing is just so unbeatable. That's where it is really good. It's like, it's almost very RPS, right? Because against like a Gastrodon or something, it's horrible. But our Talonflame especially, because it's sneaking full incinerates whenever you're throwing moves. That's like the really bad thing about it. But against things where it's decent or good, in neutral matchups or good matchups, it's insanely powerful, to be fair. So just don't get RPS, guys. That's all you have to do. Very, very good advice in Go Battle League. If you don't get RPS, you'll probably win. Hopping into this next battle, we have a Stunfisk. This is a really good lead for Ludicolo. The opponent, of course, as I mentioned earlier in the video, these are early rank battles. Don't expect any good timing and stuff from the opponents. They've thrown alignment twice here, which is great for me, of course. The opponent ends up making a safe swap into a very tricky Pokemon, a Ranguru. I end up going for a to and fro, which is a little bit suboptimal, but fine here. And we're going to swap into the Doublade here. They have a super effective Brutal Swing, which is free for the first one, 2 for the second one. Then each consecutive one is free and then 2. So we can outpace this pretty nicely here. And Doublade, it just does a lot of damage to a lot of different Pokemon. It's got pretty decent coverage. The thing that does sicken me about this is, kind of like I said, it needs Shadow Ball or something. It has coverage into Talonflame. Because I expected them to let this move go, I decided to go for CMP tie. Normally you wouldn't do that because they could easily sneak the extra move. But yeah, I decided to let this go. I'm going to get the farm down with Aegislash here, and the opponent comes back into Stunfisk. We come in. I think that might have been a CMP snipe, which is pretty nice. And we get off this Water Ball right here. Oh no, they didn't throw the move. But thankfully here we do reach the move and the opponent's forced to throw. This is where Aegislash is, like I said, very overpowered. You're going to see this here. These are super effective Mud Bombs. I think we might just about survive 3 of these here, which is kind of ridiculous. I do have quite decent IVs. I can't remember them, but it's pretty decent here. Like 2 attack, like 13-15 or something. I got a really good trade. The opponent tries to swap or catch or something. We're committing to the farm down no matter what here. I am forced to shield the third move, so I guess we do die to free mud bombs. And what's in the back? The opponent comes into Altaria. That's absolute curtains. As you can see, the Shadow Ball's going to do like 80% or 75 to the Altaria. Bang! Okay, I wanted to say bang, but it takes about 10 years. Okay, actually it does like 65% by the looks of it. I'm exaggerating a little bit here, but nonetheless, we can two-shot it here. And in the next one, we've got a Bastion lead. This is a little bit awkward. We both Semble swap out. I would have been so much better to stay in there, because this is really good into Basti, so is Aegislash. So this would have been perfect for me. Unfortunately, we Semble swap, because I technically have 2 better answers to Basti in the back, so maybe I should have stayed in for a move or something. In any case, guys, we get off 2 moves here, and we get 1 shield down, which is good. I think it is important to get shields down with Aegislash, because with shields up, this Pokemon is useless, right? So if you're using this Pokemon shield to get shields down, we'll see what's in the back. I'm expecting it to be Grass Hole. Yeah, I'm expecting Toadscroll to come in here. I think I'm going to launch the Leaf Storm here. I go for 4 and fro here. Actually 5 and fro. I build up to almost back to back Leaf Storms. Can't quite bang 2. Bang, they shield it. I am going to take this damage here and swap into the Edgy, which is very, very risky. They go for Acid Spray of all things. We bang the move, go into Aegislash, and we're pretty decent here. We resist all of the charge moves, so we're basically fine. And I think even with a debuff, we can live a Flamethrower, so I'm going to commit to building up 2 moves. They won't quite KO the Basti, but by the time they throw a move and I throw a move, I should be able to swap out here at this point. Flamethrower comes in, it does quite a substantial amount of damage because of the debuff. Get off a Shadow Ball, which will of course do a lot of damage as well. That's how you kind of know this Pokemon's overpowered in some cases. Bang! Like, that does quite a lot of damage. The Bastiodon, almost 50% with a neutral move. You don't really get that too often. You go for Waller Ball number 1. The opponent makes a really nice catch here. Basically, I need to take this Pokemon out with Ludicolo. If they take me out, I'm in a really bad spot. Again, that's where Aegislash can be really bad, because if you need to try to bang 2 moves, it's just such a rough spot. But because we have the move banged, we are in a fantastic position here. We see the opponent, go for the Shadow Ball. That's good games. Guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below on the Interlude season. Let me know what you think about the season buffs and all of your thoughts around that as well. Much love, guys. God bless you, all of you. Really appreciate you all for tuning in. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll catch you all next time.